To put in the Fuzz Factory module, we begin by lining it up with row I at the upper edge of the SHO. We're going to put it right next to the SHO, but let's not put it in that way. Let's turn it around so that the wording is upside down. Yeah, there we go. Just like the SHO. Now both of them are the same orientation. Plug it into the same row. I believe that's row I at the upper end there, and the lower end is in row, what is that, D? Yeah. And it's right next to the SHO. So it's running from, looks like 22 to 11. Now we're going to hook up the same kinds of connections we did on the SHO. We'll start by hooking up power. We're going to need one orange and one yellow jumper, just like we used for the SHO, to power it up. They're in two different boxes. Grab the orange one first. And we'll hook those up to L22. The orange one goes from L22 to the black row for ground. And then 9 volts, positive 9 volts, is going into L21. She's pointing there to the connection at the actual module, but we're going to plug that into L21 and jumper that over to the red row, which gives us positive power going into that pin. So L21 goes to the red row, L22 goes to the black row. Next, we're going to hook up the volume control. Once again, we'll be using gray wires. We'll need 3 of them. And as you might imagine, they go in the first 3 holes, the first 3 columns, and they go to the next connection there, which we prepared before. It's a B2K pot. Take the far left connection, the clockwise connection, connect it to the first pin on the module, which looks like it's A22. You can use the screwdriver to push it in if you need to. And then we'll take the second hole, the wiper, on the B2K pot, and jumper that up to A21. Right there, A21. And the third connection, oh, got to make sure that that's plugged into the pot. There we go. Ooh, don't want that falling off there. Okay, put that back. We're going to hook up the third hole in that pot, the third connection there. Jumper that up to A20. Now the volume control is completely connected, and we will move on to the gate control. Next we grab two purple wires to hook up the gate. There's the gate connection, that's the gate pot, it's a B10K. And we'll hook up the leftmost connection, the clockwise connection. Into that very next jack. That's 19, A19. And the middle, the wiper, on the B10K to A18. Now the gate's hooked up. I'm going to make sure those wires are neatly bent around the edge so they don't pop out. The next thing we're going to do is take this little plain metal jumper, the little tiny one, and connect the wiper and the counterclockwise pin on the pot together. It helps stabilize the control if you short together the end and the wiper. The end you're not using in the wiper. It makes it a little bit more stable. Push that in with the screwdriver if you need to. Now you'll notice that we connected a purple wire as well as a jumper to the same spot in that jack. They both fit in there just fine together. Now for the comp control, to hook up that potentiometer, we're going to use 2 of the gray wires again. And the reason we're switching back and forth between the purple and gray is that when the pot's a little bit further away from the connection, you need a little bit of extra length. And the gray ones are just a little longer. We'll go from the leftmost connection, clockwise. Plug it into A17, I believe. And then we'll hook up the wiper to A16 with another gray wire, another gray jumper wire. Goes into the center hole there to connect to the wiper, and into A16. And then once again to stabilize that potentiometer, and also make sure you bend the wires nice and tight and flush against the board so they don't pop out. To stabilize that potentiometer, we're going to put another one of those little silver jumpers in between the wiper and the counterclockwise pin, which is on the right. So we grab one of those. Oh, it just magically appears in our fingers. And plug it in there. Probably have to use the screwdriver to get it in. And there we go. It's in. And we move on to the drive control. Well, we're going to need 3 black wires. These are the black wires that are over 1 inch long. It's the next size up, because that pot's just a little bit further away from the module than the previous one was. It's a B10K once again. Plug into the leftmost connection, the counterclock or the clockwise connection, and that goes to A15. Now this wire is just a little bit longer than we need, so it's going to have a little bit of extra. So when you bend it around the edge, give it its kink there at the edge, make sure that it's nice and neat and doesn't come popping out. Second connection is the wiper in the middle of that B10K pot. That goes to A14. And as you might imagine, you can see Ashley's making sure that those wires get pressed up firmly so that they stay in. Because like I said, they're a little bit long. The far right connection, the counterclockwise connection, gets connected to A13. A13, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have bingo?
Well, maybe in the Deep South, where you got bango.
No, Andy pointed out to me, there is no A in bingo. Next, we are going to hook up the final control, the stab control, stability, I call it.